Hi everyone. I hope you guys are all doing good. So I'm just going to hang on for a little bit, see who's signing up. If somebody signs up, they sign up. If nobody signs up, that's fine. I don't mind talking to myself. I regularly have staff meetings, which means I talk to myself. Hello, Mary Lou. Hello. I was just talking to myself, saying how I regularly like to have staff meetings, which means I talk to myself a lot. If the video ends and you want to watch a little bit at the beginning, you'll see what I mean. I was kind of sitting here going, oh, nobody's here yet. Okay, I'll just talk to myself, have a staff meeting. It's fine. How are you, girl? Oh, Draggy, how are you, dude? Haven't seen you in freaking ever. Hi, Michael. Hi, Miriam. Okay, so while people are signing up, it was a very professional conversation, actually. All my staff meetings are very wonderful. They really are. They're fantastic. I'm the best boss ever. Seriously, I am the most amazing boss. Okay, so let's start, shall we? So today we're going to be discussing emotional empowerment. Okay, and you know, there's so many dimensions to this, and this is a topic that I am totally in love with. Okay, and this is a massive subject, but one of the parts that I've been studying and practicing in depth now is actually gaining emotional maturity. So what does it mean to really be emotionally mature? Well, it is the foundation of how we are relating with people, how we love others or how we don't love, how we feel about ourselves on an internal level, how we accept ourselves, how we don't accept ourselves, how we have this, you know, love for the way that we look or feel or sound or whatever, you know. So the way that we relate to our emotions affects our entire life. Okay, it affects down to the choices that we make in everyday life. It is the core that we really, you know, rotate around, if that makes sense. So sex and love and dating and choosing partners and our money and saving and how we feel from one moment to the next, and on a day-to-day basis, is all based on the choices that we make around this. So it is a very, very powerful thing in our life, and it influences us on a gigantic scale. Very, very few people really get taught how to be emotionally mature, yet it's one of the most important foundational blocks that will show up in our foundational blocks that will show up in our lives. So the first step to our emotional empowerment is our ability to be absolutely present with our emotions. And here's the thing, you know, society and, I don't know, pop psychologists to some degree, some of these guys are teaching us to be absolutely terrified of certain emotions. Hi, Amanda, thanks for joining, girl. And when we are so terrified of our emotions, when we are so scared of the way that we feel, okay, these create so many barriers in our lives, you know. But on the other side of this barrier, whether it being fear or shame or guilt or whatever, you know, whatever we desire the most is on the other side. So let's look at sexuality, for example, okay? So people will be plagued by shame and they'll be plagued by guilt, and they have this terrible fear inside of themselves around their sexuality. So, you know, when they make love or their self-pleasure, they experience this total shutdown, okay? And the same goes for success. And I'm just scrolling down to see the comments here because, hi, Joan! Nice to have you on here too, girl. So sorry, getting back to that. you know, we experience these total shutdowns around our emotions, around things that we're struggling with, like, you know, the self-pleasure, for example, even being successful. You know, we will have these mixed emotions around being successful or having money, and, you know, we will fear money, we will fear rejection, because, like, you know, this is actually an interesting conversation Marilyn and myself had yesterday, was, you know, we fear being financially wealthy because in our country, we need to suffer together. So there's this thing where you're going to get rejected because, hey, you know, you're going to all suffer together. You're going to all be poor. You're going to claim your poverty. You're going to claim your sexual dysfunction. You've got to claim this miserable, sad, freaking horrible life, right? So all of these things are playing such a massive role in the way that our emotional maturity is connected to. So, you know, we also have these, in some cases, this is just a few of the beliefs that I have worked with and that I've personally experienced myself as well, was, you know, you don't want to become you don't want other people to become a financial burden on you. So you'll make sure that you can say, hey, you know, I'm like you, I'm suffering just as much as you're suffering financially at this point. So, you know what, no, I don't have money, I can't help you out. And that's what happens. I've worked with this before, you know, and whatever the fear is, okay, whatever your fear is, on the other side of that fear is your desire, whether it being money, whether it being sex or intimacy, a husband or a wife, or just a date that will not stand you up or freaking ghost you, okay? So, and people tend to kind of have these destructive ways of dealing with not having to feel our emotions. So, you know, we don't want to feel shame, we don't want to feel rejected, we don't want to feel judged, we don't want to feel scared, we don't want to feel out of control. So, you know, we will do whatever we can to escape these emotions, because we've been taught that these emotions are scary and they are bad and they should be avoided at all freaking costs, okay? But from experience and working in this field for so long, I can tell you that is not the way to go. I can honestly tell you that that is not a good idea. Let's take, for example, when we feel depressed, when we feel down and out. Look, depression gets very many times depression actually gets misdiagnosed. And that's a story for another thing, which I will get into. And oh, well, I shake a lot of foundations on that, because a lot of people do not want to hear that whatever they might consider as depression is actually that they're just very unhappy. They're miserable, they're unhappy, and that's it. They are not actually having clinical depression. They're not actually really experiencing the neurochemical dysfunctions that is depression, okay? So you are just being miserable as crap, but you have now diagnosed that as depression, and it's not. Okay, there's a very big difference, but we'll get into that in another live. I look forward to some people swearing and screaming at me about that, because believe me, I've had that. Whenever I've told people about depression, there are massive big fights that break out because they do not agree with what my experiences are and what I've seen in the last 13 years. Because it's just fun to be labeled. It's just, you know, we're miserable, so we need to stick there. Anyway, enough of me getting on my little high horse there. Sorry, guys. So we are conditioned to really avoid, you know, fear and guilt and sadness and anger and frustration and all of that, because we are repressing these things, because we do not face them, because we are incapable of having emotional maturity, and we are incapable of sitting with these things. We end up becoming even more miserable. We then end up having all of these, you know, survival mechanisms, coping mechanisms, that ends up actually just really being avoidance patterns, okay? So, and I've seen this happen not just with guilt and fear and the so-called negative emotions. I have seen this even with the good emotions. There are individuals out there, and I've had personal experience in this as well, that cannot handle, let's say, a friend or a partner laughing too loud, experiencing their joy, or being comfortable with their emotions, okay, or experiencing adrenaline at that moment. Let's say after somebody tried to break in, or they have just nearly been in a car accident, you know, there's adrenaline pumping in them. And some people just really experience that emotional surge afterwards, and some people are just incapable of dealing with people when they're in that space. Secondly, some people are just incapable of handling people that will laugh too loud, that will be comfortable with themselves, comfortable enough to just be who they are as an individual. And so they will end up scowling at this person, or they will squeeze a leg, or they will afterwards, after they've been come back from the social, they will sit there and tell their partner that, however they acted, laughing too loud, swearing too much, or being too flamboyant, or going and sitting in the group and talking to the other men or women was just so disrespectful, sorry. Disrespectful. And they will just be so angry at this other person being in such a happy space. And it is just such a taboo for these people to experience these emotions. Okay, so people will then start avoiding feeling happy, avoiding being social, avoiding laughing out loud, avoiding really being touched in their feelings because of the fear of being judged and hurt and not accepted by that individual that they care about so much. Okay, so now here's the thing. So, when we've been programmed to absolutely avoid all of these emotions, we're totally unwilling to go and explore it. We're totally unwilling to make it our friends. And in these emotions, when you can sit with these emotions, when you can absolutely integrate, when you can totally become friends with it, okay, this is where beautiful alchemy happens. And as I get into this, I'll explain to you more. You are capable of turning those fears into courage. You are totally, absolutely capable of, using the shame and the guilt and the intimacy and learn from it and get gold from it that will propel you forward when it comes to dating, finding the ideal partners, when it comes to love, when it comes to friendships, when it comes to actually making good freaking money in your business, because you are no longer sitting there in that shit deep hole of fear of being rejected, fear of being intimate. Because let's face it, guys, we are being intimate right now, okay? And any time that people are interacting with each other, that means that we are being intimate. It doesn't necessarily mean being intimate is banging the person that you're being with. That's not what intimacy means, okay? It is being connected with that person on an intimate level, communicating with them, taking them into regard, and there's this putting your focus and attention on that individual, okay? That is intimacy, as much as it is, having sex with them or whatever the case might be. So, when we are intimate with it, when we are incapable of being intimate, you're incapable of being intimate with your clients, you're incapable of being intimate with yourself, with your parents, okay? You're incapable of being and this adds all to not being authentic. You cannot be authentic when you cannot be intimate and committed. Okay, when you cannot allow yourself to say, hey, this is me, this is who I am, I'm this way. So, if you've been taught, for example, that you need to be perfect, okay, you're going to fear not doing something 100%, okay, and this will end up in you either procrastinating or you, I don't know, finding all kinds of excuses, which is part of procrastination, to not go and do that, okay? And you will have this fear which will hold you back from, let's say, doing, I don't know, Facebook Live, going onto YouTube and putting your ass out there on the line, ready and bare and raw and whatever, accepting yourself for who you are, loving every part of your body for who, for the way that you've been built. And I mean, let's face it, our bodies, our nervous systems, we as humans are such miracles. But we do not see this. So only when we are really able to get over those fears of being like perfect, okay, when you get over that fear of doing the Facebook Live, when you get over that fear of criticism and judgment and all of that, and you are capable of being your authentic self and letting go of that fear, will you reach what you have been desiring? You know, I always, before I dyed my hair purple, this is like a pink color now, but some months ago, I go to my hairdresser and, you know, I know her now, we've been playing with the idea that I want to go pink. And I'm sitting there, and I will tell you that I'm sitting there, my heart is pounding, because I say to her, okay, if we're struggling with my hair, so if it's not coming out right, we're going to just freaking go pink. So the salon gods had their way, and we end up doing my hair pink. I sit there and I'm shaking, and I say to her, I am scared shitless right now, but I know on the other end, it is going to be epic. It is going to be amazing. And I know it's such a simple, stupid little thing to talk about, but I will share with you how many other times it has paid off being scared and me being able to process my fear and have that emotional empowerment and how it's affected me in a positive way. And when my hair was finally washed, it looked so amazing. I felt brilliant. I could take on the world at that moment because it was just amazing. And just because I got over that fear, and it's not just being in the hair, like, you know, I was shit scared to do lives. I mean, I was sitting here going, whew, okay. And what I would do is I would go and sit and I would do my emotional empowerment practice. I would go and do my emotional empowerment meditation. And I got this intuition, right? And I follow my intuition. And I was like rewarded with, hey, do a 5-day challenge, which was received beautifully. It paid off. It totally paid off because my intuition was there. Secondly, I worked with the fear. I processed the fear. I processed the rejection. I processed and I made it my friends. I drew the gold from it. I went and I sat there and I went, okay, where's the hammer? Let's just sit here and let's just tap this out. Let's just get this out. And I got to that vein of beautiful gold as a result of that, okay? And it has just so paid off for itself. So, you know, those fears, those blockages, but you know, is going to hold you back if you cannot allow yourself to have emotional empowerment, if you cannot allow yourself to process it, to go through a process of alchemy and get your gold from that, okay? That is what I'm teaching people these days, is how to draw the gold from their fears, those anxieties, the shame and the guilt, because they do not have to hold you hostage. They do not have to be that block in your life. It doesn't have to be this massive block with your dream, your desire on the side, okay? It doesn't. You can become friends with that block. You can get to a point where you're capable of climbing this block so that you can get your desire. And you know what? Yes, it takes, at times, it's cultivating a new skill, but it's a beautiful skill to cultivate. It is incredibly powerful because, you know, if you're fearing criticisms and judgments, okay, you know, do you think that you're going to be capable of showing up in all of your authenticity? If you fear rejection, do you think that you're going to reach out to that person that's shown interest in you? Do you think that, or are you just going to, and the same thing with a date, with somebody that you love, with your partner, for example, okay, if you're scared of them rejecting you, of you being intimate with them, really intimate, on that really deep space, okay, do you think that your relationship is going to go to the next deep, empowering, wonderful level? No, you're going to stay stuck. And this is the issue, you guys. If you can learn, right, how to turn that terror that is holding you back because you learned it from some other place, if you can learn how to take the terror that you've got, okay, and you can create alchemy from that, and you can create the ability to, yes, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, I'm feeling this fear, I'm feeling this shame, I'm feeling this guilt, I'm feeling this fear of rejection, I'm feeling whatever. If you are capable of going, but hey, I can feel it, it's not going to kill me, it's not going to freaking sink me, okay, it's not going to cause me to you know, go down. If you can sit there and you're capable of really working with it, really pulling and creating that beautiful alchemy, pulling that gold out of all of those things that is considered bad and horrible, okay, your life is going to be one epic adventure, okay? It is going to be authentic, it's going to be real, and it's going to be one epic adventure, okay? So we as humans are so terrified of feeling, and we just want to always employ all kinds of avoidance patterns and strategies, you know, so we'll end up watching too much YouTube, okay, or too much Netflix. We will procrastinate, we will eat emotionally, we will have illnesses, we will use substances, we will use porn, even overusing exercise and dieting like a freaking maniac, shopping and overworking, and just totally avoiding having that conversation, avoiding self-pleasure, and just, you know, giving into addictions and obsessions, and all of those things are the ways that we are absolutely avoiding our emotions, okay? So you can see that the moment that you start integrating, the moment that you start, you know, feeling your emotions, feeling your feelings, and they're your friends, all of that stuff starts to dissipate out of your life, and you start taking better control in your life, okay? So, you know, we do whatever we can just to freaking distract ourselves from our emotions, and it's not good. Our emotions are truly our friends. Now, yes, you know, we should feel anger, we should feel frustration, but there's also another side to that. Remember that if you are staying in that space for too long, it can harm you. It can harm the body. It is not good for you to constantly be in a state of uncontrollable anger, in a state of uncontrollable fear, of fight, flight, okay? Yes, it's on the other side, it's not good to be in that space, but this is why I say, when you learn to have emotional empowerment, okay, you're not going to stay a victim. You're not going to stay a hostage of anger and of all these other emotions any longer. You're going to be able to, hey, process it through your nervous system, process it through your energy system, and you'll be able to let that go. We're not talking about you going into a space of spiritual bypassing. I am not for spiritual bypassing. I am absolutely against it, because I've seen the freaking damage that does to a person, okay? It is a bad thing to do. Spiritual bypassing is not a good idea. So, but when you can learn how to sit mindfully with your emotions, when you can learn that, hey, I can feel, I'm okay, I'm not going to die, this is not going to kill me, okay? Yes, it might be overwhelming, yes, it might be like a little bit stressful, but that's why you're capable and allowed to ease into it. That's why you're allowed to take your time to really get into it. You don't have to jump into the deep end without any floating devices and say, hey, well, look, I'm drowning. You don't have to do that. That's not necessary. You're allowed to, absolutely allowed to take your time. You're allowed to cultivate this. You're allowed to learn, to feel, to experience, you know, how to really create this absolute wonderful ecology within yourself. Okay, this wonderful, you know, symbiotic relationship between you and your emotions. Okay, but the one does not have to feed off you completely and cause you so much harm that you are sick, that you're feeling terrible, that you are caught in your house and you can't go anywhere, that you can't find good relationships, that you keep choosing shitty partners, that ghosts you, that treat you like crap, that does not appreciate you. Okay, those things does not have to happen. You don't need to sit in that space where you're constantly going to be affected by your clients, okay? Because let's face it, you know, many people are so affected by their clients. You know, did the client come late? Did the client not arrive? Did the client, you know, how did they treat you? And then this is it. When you feel bad, you're allowed to feel bad. You're allowed to process that and then pull the gold out of that, okay? So when we've learned to truly, truly cultivate this, okay, it is profoundly powerful, okay? So, you know, if you look, so one of the ways that we can really learn how to, you know, process our emotions, to become emotionally empowered, to become emotionally mature, is to truly learn how to sit with it, okay? So it's to really experience our emotions as a sensation. When we experience our emotions as sensations, that severe, intense intensity actually really becomes less, and the emotions doesn't feel so out of control any longer. So obviously, you know, like I said before, we have to cultivate this. You have to learn how to do it. I don't recommend that you just, you know, end up dumping yourself into the deepest end. I recommend that you learn how to do this properly, how to sit with your emotions, because it is about being present in your body. It is absolutely about being present on what is the sensations that I'm feeling in my body right now. Where are they situated? What do they feel like? What can I do? Can I breathe through them? If I keep my mind on the sensation, okay, what happens? You know, does it become less? If I breathe into my stomach while focusing on this emotion or the sensation in my body, maybe it's an anxiety feeling, right? Maybe it's a contraction in your heart. Maybe it's this energy that just really feels intense, or maybe it's this heavy sadness, or whatever the case. If you are sitting there and you focus on that sensation inside of your body and you breathe and you keep reminding you, hey, this is just an emotion. Hey, this is just a sensation. Hey, I'm okay. I'm okay. And you can sit with that, and you can truly allow yourself to be absolutely put your attention on it, because the more attention that you put on it, oh boy, it does not like that. It does not like that you are putting the attention on it. It starts then dissipating. It starts then getting less. And the more you become versed, okay, in cultivating this really powerful method, and you know, where does this discomfort feel? Where is it in my body? What does it feel like? Okay. And if you can say to yourself, like, I am not my emotions. I'm experiencing them. I'm experiencing these sensations, but I am not them. That heaviness just starts to leave. That intensity just starts to leave. And it takes some getting used to, because you've got to breathe through it. You've got to sit there with it, and you've got to really focus and use a lot of mindfulness on these things, okay? So, but when you've learned how to do that, they are going to become a lot less intense. Sorry, I just want to see. Yeah. Solidarity and suffering. Sorry, you guys, I keep forgetting the messenger, the thing on the side here doesn't scroll by itself. So I'm so sorry I've missed a few. Yeah. Oh, Celine, I'm very happy to hear that. Yeah, Amanda, sorry to hear. Yeah, it's really, really rough. Yeah. So sorry, guys. I keep forgetting that these things do not go down on their own. So apologies for that. I sometimes miss that. I have to remind myself when I see, like, oh yeah, scroll down, like make a point to scroll down. Okay, so guilt can feel. So when we feel guilt and we feel like all these intense, you know, clenching and shame, with that intense feeling of maybe whatever sensations it comes with, you know, and you can sit with that, and you can truly just be present in your body, experience it, and you can breathe with it, and you can resource inside of yourself. Because let's face it, guys, we are magnificent as human beings. We have the most amazing resources within ourselves. The subconscious mind is insanely powerful. It is brilliant. It is incredible. It is amazing. Within the subconscious mind, and the body, we have amazing places to resource within ourselves. We have the ability to create space inside of our bodies to accept the discomforts that we are experiencing, and to give it loving attention, loving but still a benign attention, to a degree where it does not affect you in the way where you're sitting in a corner somewhere, sitting like this and doing that, okay? I used to suffer from the worst panic attacks. I used to suffer from the worst anxiety. I used to suffer from the worst depression. I was taken up in hospital a few times as a result of depression, because I worked myself into hospital. I had major depression, major anxiety disorders, and a whole bunch of other stuff, which I was diagnosed with, fairly, in all fairness, in my case, labeled with. Okay, and I refuse to take those labels anymore. They are not my labels. I refuse to take them. They are not mine. because I want a more empowered life, and I will claim that empowered life no matter what. But it is still my choice. So coming next is the fact that we have a choice. You know, we have a choice. How do we handle whatever is happening inside of our bodies? What is happening inside of our minds? We have a choice to resource, to go within, to go and breathe, to choose whatever we've been taught, or to go and to learn from somebody that knows how the hell to drag us out of this shithole, so that we can then resource within ourselves and to really become very, very powerful in our own rights, okay? So, but we have to claim the power of choice. We have to give ourselves permission, okay? And when we claim the power of choice, this in itself is so powerful, okay? Why is that so important? Because even if you feel fear around something, you're just going to realize that you're not going to be blocked any longer. If you feel shame around your sexuality or your intimacy, you won't be blocked, and it won't hold you back from experiencing a deep space of intimacy with somebody, or a deep space of love, allowing yourself to go deep into yourself, to truly love you, that person, with your body, with your entire being, okay? And I'm not just talking about sex here. As I said to you, what intimacy means to me is you and I are being intimate right now, because I'm bearing my information, I'm bearing my soul, you're in my energy, I'm in your energy. As many people as on this call, we are now being intimate due to our energy mixing and mingling, okay? So, and we are paying attention to each other. We are giving each other a regard. Okay, so this is intimacy. But the ability to be open, to open up and to break down these walls to another becomes so profound if you no longer have that deep rooted fear, okay, for someone to come in. So, oh man, I need to tell you this. I was talking to a wonderful, wonderful sister of mine earlier, and we were discussing the pickup artists, and we were discussing ghosting, we were discussing dating a little bit earlier, you know, and this is why so many games are being played out there, because people have this deep terror of being intimate. People have this deep, deep, deep terror of being true, of being authentic. So they go and they think, oh yeah, no, you know, if I go and I play with this person's feelings and their emotions, if I throw in my hook, you know, and I drag it back out again, do that all the time, then I'm going to end up finding someone. And I'm so sorry, but I do not agree with that. I do not agree with when they pull back, you pull back. I do not agree with you giving them a backhanded compliment. I do not agree with people, you know, playing games in that way. I do not. And the more people that can freaking get their crap together when it comes to dating and relationships, the more people that can really, truly just get their head out of their, excuse the French, fucking asses about dating, about relationships, about money, about these fears, you know, when they get their heads out of their asses, they are going to be happier. They'll find that partner much faster. They will have a better relationship with their body. They will have a better friendships. They will have closer relationships with people around them. And how does this really work around money? Well, the thing is though, and this is a very interesting thing that I need you guys to understand. The relationship that you have with money, okay, is going to reflect, it's reflecting the relationship that you've got with yourself. So if you've got a shitty bank account, if you've got a bad relationship with yourself, you're not going to have a good bank account. Okay, you're not going to have a good bank account in money. You're not going to have a good bank account in friendships. You're not going to have a good bank account in love, in intimacy, in commitment, or any of those things. They all go hand in hand. Okay. So when you have been able to really cultivate that beautiful emotional empowerment, you're no longer going to fear someone coming in. Okay. And you're going to be like this professional surfer. You're going to be able to ride the waves of your emotions and still reach out, still handle rejection, still handle criticism, still handle someone being a jerk without it hurting you deeply. You know, having this superpower will propel you and your ability to date. It will propel your ability to have a happy business, to reach out to the right clients for you, to be intimate, to experience deep levels of profound love in your relationships, okay? Even if you have those fears, that shame, that guilt, Okay, you're still choosing, and that choice means ultimate freedom on every level. You generate this amazing emotional courage where you go. So, and you can just kind of sit there and you go, hey, I can feel this. Hey, and I'm really here. I'm doing great. And I am not dying. I'm still here. So, you know, when I started delving really deeply into emotional empowerment, emotional maturity, I noticed that I had this ability to speak out about stuff, whereas I couldn't before. I noticed that, you know, I'm a lot more comfortable, even when I'm scared or I feel whatever emotion. So, you know, this was so huge for me in moving forward in my life, in my business, in every single regard, because criticism and judgment and you know, that feelings of unsafety no longer holds me hostage, because I know I'm not going to die and it's not dangerous to me at all anymore. So, and this knowledge in itself helped me to feel really deeply safe and secure. So, you know, yeah, at times it's very intense. I mean, you know, I'm human. I am going to be sad. If something shit happens, I'm going to cry. I'm going to be upset. I'm going to be angry. I can still feel angry. I can still feel all those things, but it's not in that chaos anymore. And it's okay to feel those things. And it's okay for me to let them go too, because that's no longer my prison. So I'm capable of, you know, just being more myself, being more authentic. And yeah, I've got foot and mouth disease because, you know, I freaking stick my feet in my mouth very regularly. And that does happen. But, you know, at times I realize that when I say something, it is for that person's best interest, because I'm so done with living this fake stuff that we've been taught. I'm so done with, you know, I see your patterns. I see my patterns. I am incredibly self-aware and incredibly aware of all these patterns that we all have. And, you know, I'm not here to coddle people. I cannot coddle you. I would not be a good coach if I coddled you, but I can be there and I can hold you in regard and I can hold your space and I can give you that container that you need. But, you know, along with that, expect that I am going to say to you, but there is something here that you need to look at. Okay. So since I've been able to cultivate, you know, this emotional empowerment, I'm capable of just being able to be me, to be okay with my crazy ass shit, because I'm crazy as hell, you know. So this life skill is so valuable and having a more successful and integrated life. So, you know, I'm going to give everybody that's on here, you're very welcome to have a 20-minute assessment with me, and I'm happy to sit with you and just sit with you through that emotion that you're experiencing and teach you how to work with the sensation. Really happy to do that. So I'd love you to book a session with me, the 20-minute session, and just come and learn how can you start cultivating this ability to sit, to experience the sensation without it taking over and putting you into this terrible space of chaos. So I want to thank you guys for listening. I want to thank you guys for being part of this tonight. I hope this is in some way giving you clarity. So the link is available in the top there, and you can just book your 20-minute assessment with me there. And I'm happy to sit with you through that emotion, the emotions, and show you how to just start cultivating, you know, this ability to process your emotions and to gain a space of emotional empowerment. So thanks again so much, everyone. I hope that you had a good, enjoyed this, and I look forward to the next one. I will let you guys know about the next live that I'll be doing soon. And yeah, have a wonderful morning, have a wonderful afternoon, have a wonderful evening, have whatever time of day it is there by you guys. Have a wonderful one. Be safe. And I look forward to hearing back from you, doing the 20-minute assessments. And I look forward to walking a journey with you guys. Have a wonderful one. Love you all. Mwah.